AVS Media
Tower,
Demo.
Papa Hotel Lima Echo November radio check.
Papa Echo November, good afternoon, read you 5.
Good afternoon, read you 5 as well, Papa Echo November.
The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X-Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, and our family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, India, Africa, and Europe. Our toll-free number is 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is an old-time friend of the X-Zone Radio TV show, Jay Caliendo, his name, and he's a medical intuitive that through his gift of insight allows him to conduct health readings on individuals. Now, X-Zone Nation, he is the first and only medical intuitive to be published in peer-reviewed medical journals. His first publication made history by appearing in the December of 2000 Medical Journal Society of Integrative Medicine. He is one of the few in his field to have earned the trust of physicians, which has led him into this publication. And in January 2005, Jay achieved even greater success with the medical profession by being published in a second medical journal, the American Academy of Medical Acupuncture. Now, Jay's God-given gift as an intuitive allows him to be one of the few to work with conventional medical doctors and naturopathic physicians, acupuncturists, alternative healers, and doctors of Oriental Medicine. He works extensively at helping these physicians diagnose some of their most complicated cases by reading the patient's energy fields. Some of these readings have been published in his first book. Even though Jay's ability to see and read the human fields is considered to be integrative, he is considered among traditional medical doctors as one of the finest and most accurate mainstream medical intuitives of the day. His website, www.medicalintuitive.com. And Jay, welcome back to the X-Zone. How's it been, my friend?
Well, it's been great. Thanks for having me back, Rob.
Hey, Jay, maybe for the listeners who are joining us for the first time and hearing you for the first time, could you explain to them what a medical intuitive is?
Probably not. I'm only kidding.
It's all right. You're getting me back for before the show. Okay.
Well, I can give you my definition. There are lots of medical intuitives, I suppose, and they all have their own little take on it, But It is reading one's energy. This is how I do it. I've been able to see an energy in people, and from that, been able to, with some accuracy, tell them from a health standpoint only what's really wrong, what's driving it, what's the source behind it.
Right.
And in most cases, the most important thing is what do we do to make you better? And I do this by watching their energy move.
Now, Jay, the energy that you see would that be classified as the auric field?
I don't classify it as that. Some may, because there may be some element of it there. We all I think have become aware in the last 20 years of energy, that plants have energy.
Yeah.
They can be influenced by certain types of music, which we never dreamed a plant could have that kind of energy or memory to it. Animals have an energy, and of course humans. And I see an energy like, we all have a fingerprint, and if you put them on a piece of paper, they all look the same.
Jay, I hate to do this.
You realize quickly that no two fingerprints are identical.
Jay, stand by. We've got to take our 2-minute break. We'll be right back. X Zone Nation. A good friend, Jay Caliendo, is my special guest. www.medicalintuitive.com. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. We'll be back in 2. Don't go away. And welcome back, everyone. As always, the music that we are using in our show is from our CD. It's called The Music of the X Zone. It's available at Amazon.com. Jay Caliendo is my special guest, www.medicalintuitive.com. And Jay, I'm sorry I had to cut you off there, partner, because of the fact that these are hard breaks. I have to stop them at a certain point. But I would like to mention something here. You're a former police sergeant, and I've never heard of a police officer, and I've been doing this now for over 20 years, Jay. I believe that you are the only police officer medical intuitive in the world.
Well, it could be. I have not heard of others. If they exist or not, it is kind of a crazy thing, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I have to ask you at this point, did you find that your gift, your ability, came in handy while you were on the job?
I did. It's kind of crazy, but I would try not to use it, because you, as a former cop yourself, you have to go with what's in front of you, and intuition isn't always the place to be using your police work. But yeah, I did find it to be helpful in interviews, probably more than in anything.
Yeah, and I'd like to say at this point here, we've been watching the events unfold in California with reference to the former police officer from Los Angeles, Donner, and God, my heart goes out to the sheriff's deputy's family that fell today in his duties. And we don't pay enough thanks to law enforcement and first responders. And Jay, I've said this before many times on the show, that yes, I appreciate the work that the men and women of the armed forces do, but we battle each and every day here in what we consider to be peaceful times. And God bless the officers, God bless the paramedics and the firemen for all the great work they do.
Yeah, Rob, I agree. It's a tough job, because if the public thinks you've overreacted, they'll criticize you. If you don't react quick enough, then it can cost you your life. So it's a very difficult place to be.
It sure is. But once again, Our hearts and prayers go out to those who have lost their lives, not only in the line of duty, but as victims of this guy, Donner. And I pray that the events of today will bring a conclusion to this man's rampage. Anyway, let's get back onto things over here. Okay, now, how long then have you been a medical intuitive, full-time, professional, out in front of mainstream saying, my name is Jay Caliendo and I'm a medical intuitive?
Since late 95. I actually incorporated a business January of 96, but late 95 I kind of stepped out of the closet, if you will.
Yeah.
And went pretty public on it.
What was it like? Did you receive a lot of skepticism at first from the public?
I did. It was not easy back then. I think what surprised me the most was the police department. They were actually fairly open-minded to it. Allowed me to do some television interviews on duty in uniform, where I had television follow me around in my patrol car and then interview me about my intuitive work. That was kind of surprising. I had a pretty good support from them, but there was a lot of talk behind my back. You know, you could walk in the locker room, and the jabber would stop. You know. So it was tough, and with doctors it was tough. It's better now. It's still getting better.
Well, that's great, Jay. When you're looking at someone doing a reading, can you give us a feel for what it is you see?
Sure. It's similar, not identical. It's similar to a black and white blotchy X-ray, and people can relate to that because we've all seen X-rays. Only this one is moving and floating. Sometimes it's flashing. It changes shades from dark to light to gray. It's three-dimensional, so I'm looking right through it. Sometimes I use the term I burn right through it, or I have to catch that Kodak moment. It'll flash in front of me. And it's really all I need. I only need a couple of seconds to see one's energy, and then from that I'm pretty quick at telling them what's the matter and what we can do to maybe make them better. So
would it be like having X-ray vision?
Well, I have been that term has been hung on me before. A little bit. As long as you understand when you use the term X-ray vision, you just have to totally dismiss the physical part of it. I am not looking through humans. I am looking through a human's energy, and it's totally different. Like if someone was born with only one kidney, not necessarily see that because that is a physical thing.
Right.
But I could see that the energy would be strong or weak in their kidney area. So it's a little hard to wrap your head around, but that's how I do it. In fact, I actually had that happen once with Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, really?
Remember him?
Oh, I sure do. A good Canadian.
Great actor and comedian.
Yep.
He had done an interview with me and had brought a lady in, and I gave a reading. My reading was pretty good. But then at the end he says there's something he didn't mention, and he had her disclose that she only had one kidney and that she was born that way, and he wanted to know why I didn't see her two kidneys. And so I told him I don't see the physical flesh of a person. I can tell you that this young lady, even though she was born with one kidney, has never, ever had any problems with her kidney function. And as of today, she's never had any problems. And he asked her, have you ever had any kidney problems? And she said, no, none at all. So it's that I'm seeing a positive, strong energy in that kidney area.
Okay, I can understand how you do the reading. I'm not questioning your ability whatsoever, and if that's how that last statement came across, Jay, my apologies.
No, not at all, sir. And you can question it. You're entitled to question it. It's
okay. You're sitting down looking at someone. I can understand the principle behind how you do your reading. But how do you do it over the phone?
Well, it's I've been asked that a lot because it's a question that it's hard for people to wrap their head around it, and it's also hard for me to answer it.
Wow.
You have to try and remove yourself from the physical element. You go to the doctor and you complain of a sore throat. He says, stick out your tongue and say, ah. He's got to look at you. I'm not looking at anyone. I'm looking at one's energy. Now, for some crazy reason, when I hear a first name and their age, the energy or that X-ray I referred to comes crystal clear.
Wow.
And I guess that's because it's like a handshake. You know, if you met somebody 15 years ago at a party, you were introduced to them briefly, and it was a quick handshake and a goodbye, you would probably always remember that you met that person. There's something about that handshake. So there's something about the name and age that seems to break down a barrier, and I just able to look at them instantly. And I have noticed that distance is simply not relevant. I read all over the country. I read all over the world. I'm in about 8 countries around the world right now.
My heavens.
And distance just doesn't matter. They'll call me from anywhere, and I'll say, what's your name, what's your age, and what's your question?
Jay, do you see any common thread between the people that seek you out for your expertise? I mean, besides the fact that they believe they're sick.
Do I see any what?
Any common thread, a
illness?
commonality, yeah.
No, and that's another good question. I mean, I've been asked that too. I can't say I have, other than the biggest complaint is a lack of energy. But no, there's no common denominator anymore.
How, we were talking very briefly about how you work with the Western medical professionals. Why do you think they're opening up and being more accepting of you and your abilities these days?
Well, a couple of reasons. One is because it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if you're not a fake, a fraud, and a phony, it works. It's another
tool.
Well, it's another tool, but it's another individual with another. You know, these doctors are trying to make you well as fast as they can, and to seek out their professional opinions. There's nothing wrong with that.
So basically, you're a human diagnostic machine.
Well, from an energy standpoint, I do try and take the mystery out of what's the matter. Yes.
Now, do you just see the energy in black and white, or do you see different colors as well?
I never had color, Rob. It's always black and white.
Wow.
Are you hearing me okay? Because I'm getting an echo with you.
No, we're hearing you fine here.
Okay, all right.
So you don't see in color, you just see black and white.
It's moving, it's flashing, it's floating, it's spinning. It's quite something to see. It happens very fast.
Fascinating. Truly fascinating. Is there any age where you draw the line? Like, do you do this for children as well as adults?
I do, Rob. In fact, I just a soft spot for children.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest challenge in the world because if they're infants, newborns or infants, they cannot speak. They cannot tell you why they're crying. They cannot tell you what's wrong. All X-ray and tests, blood tests, etc., are negative. So what is the matter with this child?
Yeah.
And it's a great thing. It's a great feeling to be able to help that in those cases.
All right, Jay, stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exo Nation, my very special guest this hour is Jay Caliendo. He is a medical intuitive. We've had the pleasure of having Jay on the show before, and the next time he's on with us, I'm going to open the lines. But I just wanted you to hear the compassion, hear how he does it, and where he is gaining his how can I best put this? Why he is gaining the trust of the medical community. Jay Caliendo is his name. He's a medical intuitive. His website, www.medicalintuitive.com. And Jay and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X-Zone continues right here from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away now.
I can let you go.
You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio,
Euro High Definition Radio,
and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035.
Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com.
On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com.
And our website,
www.xzoneradiotv.com.
I believe it's meant to be, darling. I watch you.
Everybody ask me what will be. Everybody wants to know from me. They're just asking, never listen to what I say. They're just talking without joining me day by day. Although anything is easily explained to you, there's no show.
Welcome back, everyone. Jay Caliendo's my special guest, and he is a medical intuitive. His website is www.medicalintuitive.com. Jay, would you be able to do a reading for me if I give you my name and my age?
Sure.
All right. My name is Rob. My age is 60.
Okay. Now, what will normally happen, Rob, if you don't ask a specific question, which is normally what we'll do for radio, television,
Right.
I'll have to scan you.
Okay, go
And it can take several minutes. It's kind of similar to an MRI.
All right, so let me ask you this, Jay. I feel run down all the time.
Yeah, it's a big complaint. I'll tell you what I think's going on, Rob, is that you think of an accordion where you squeeze it and then you open it and then you squeeze it and then you open it. When you breathe, your diaphragm. When you breathe in, your diaphragm goes down. When you exhale, your diaphragm goes up, and your lungs sit on top of the diaphragm, and so everything's kind of pushed up and out. That's how we exhale the carbon dioxide. You're kind of, now I use exaggerated words because, ironically enough, I see energy in people kind of in an animated way.
Right.
But in using exaggerated words, I've learned that people kind of like it because they can really understand what I'm seeing. Your diaphragm is kind of locked up. In other words, your respiratory in itself is kind of in an upward locked place. Now, of course, it's not locked, or you wouldn't be able to breathe. But that's how I'm seeing the energy, kind of exaggerated that way. So what that's done is not allowing you to breathe deep. And that if you don't breathe and use all your lungs, you're not getting enough oxygen, and you're not getting enough oxygen to the heart or to the brain, and you're going to be sluggish. And I think that's your case.
Could it be because I sit a lot?
It could be. Sitting, stress, environmental things. It could be a lot of things. So exercise, movement, diaphragmic breathing, learning how to breathe deep. You might even seek out some real good deep massage into the diaphragm and ask them to massage it down and loosen it and free it up a little bit so that when you breathe it moves better.
I think it's time for another vacation, because when I'm on vacation I stand a lot.
Do you feel better when you stand?
I feel great on vacation. Yeah, no, I really do. In fact, during the day, I'll actually get up and walk around, and people will say, "Well, why don't you sit down to talk to me?" I said, "No, I enjoy standing up. I enjoy the change."
What you're doing is you're just moving. You're trying to you're moving, and you're trying to exercise your respiratory section. I really do think you're almost validating a little bit by just your actions of telling me you like to walk around when you can. You're trying to unlock or free up your diaphragm, your lungs, that entire respiratory area. Is probably why you feel better.
Wow. So it seems that when we have something wrong with us, our body knows naturally what we should do to rectify it. But why don't we listen to ourselves?
Well, that's the thing. Our body's always talking. We're not always listening. it reminds me of hangovers, where you go out on a Friday night and put one on,
Yep.
and you wake up Saturday with a terrible hangover, but you can't wait for next Friday again.
I'm past those days, my friend.
I think I am too. That can happen. We just listen enough.
Jay,
I'm back to that echo problem again.
Oh, geez,
Are
no.
you getting this there
no,
too?
you're coming here loud and clear, Jay. It must be a fault somewhere along the line. As long as the producers are telling me just to keep going.
Well, we're a long ways from each other.
Yeah. When you're giving the reading for a person, how long does it usually take?
Well, I did for you. People ask me on the spot all the time, like you did tonight, and it only takes a matter of seconds. It takes less time to read you than it does to explain it.
Really? Eh?
But when people order a reading from me, which I do Monday through Friday, I'm on the phone with them for an hour because they've got several health questions. I like to go through briefly what's the matter.
Yeah.
Why did you call me? And then I spend about 15, 20 minutes reading their whole entire energy field to be sure I don't miss anything that's important. And then I spend the last 20 minutes reading it all back and explaining it to them. It takes about an hour.
Has there ever been a case that has totally perplexed you?
Probably not. As wild and as crazy as that sounds, what I do is just kind of a God-given gift, and
Right.
so I don't work too hard at it. It's just there for me to see. I have been surprised of some of my readings. I've been absolutely rocked back on some of the things I have said to people. It comes out of left field, and you wouldn't think that you can make any medical sense out of what I've said. In some cases, you cannot. But I haven't found anybody I can't read.
Can you give us some examples?
Of
the, you said that you're surprised at what you've been able to tell these people.
Well, oh boy. One would probably be a professional baseball player. He was in the, what is it, the minor league? Is it the minor leagues that call you up to
The majors, yeah.
Yeah. He was a professional ball player, got paid. He was a minor league player. He would hit the ball and run to first base and continually pull his hamstring.
Wow.
And then he would be on the bench for the longest time with doctors trying to rehabilitate the hamstring, only to make him better. And then he would go back out and run again after hitting the ball and eventually pull it again. So he said, I just can't get better. My mom heard about you, and I'm 26 years old. If I don't get drafted soon, I'm never going to make it to the big league. And I just don't know why I keep pulling my hamstring. And I said, it's because your diaphragm is tight. And it just shocked me to say that because I looked at his energy. I just repeat what I see. And so I said, your diaphragm isn't moving. And when your diaphragm doesn't move, it's not allowing your hamstrings to move, and you're pulling your hamstrings. And you don't have a leg problem. You've got a diaphragm problem. You also look like you're asthmatic, but I don't think you are. And he says, well, crazy enough, I take the little puffer because I do have asthma. And I said, no, you don't. You've got tight diaphragm and a tight lungs. Once we loosen your diaphragm, you'll be able to breathe. You'll throw that little puffer away. And I sent him to a doctor that was very integrated, he was an MD who did acupuncture as well. And he acupunctured the diaphragm. That year, the kid never pulled his hamstring. He hit home runs. He was never benched. He never took the inhaler anymore. But he was also never drafted in the leagues.
Now that is really fascinating.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that happens, and it just shocks me. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with this information? Is anybody going to listen so they can make this better?
Wow. Jay, what about diseases like cancer or Alzheimer's or some of the diseases that seem to be more popular today than 20, 25 years ago? Yeah,
I hear you. They're more frequent.
Yeah.
Something's going on. I would love someday to get on a panel of medical doctors, science, and just be a part of that panel and try and come up with some resolve to Alzheimer's or to cancer or some disease. I'd love to be on a panel to try and cure a disease.
You know, why I'm asking this is my wife has a disease called Meniere's. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
What is this?
All right. She suffers from vertigo, tinnitus, loud ringing in the ears, and the doctors say, well, there's nothing we can do about it except make her deaf.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, are you wait a minute, we can put a guy on the moon, we can put a little robot on Mars, but you can't tell me what can make my wife better? They don't even know what causes it.
That's right, yeah.
So when it comes to these kind of diseases, how can you help these people?
Well, everybody, we have common denominators, but we're all, and that's why we can give each other the flu. Yet you couldn't give the flu to your dog. Because there's a common denominator, but that we are very unique, like our fingerprint, as I was saying at the top of the hour.
Right.
No two fingerprints are identical. Well, no two allergies are identical. So when I do a reading on somebody, if you had 10 people diagnosed with the same as your wife,
right,
I may give you 10 different answers. It just depends. If I end up to, 3 different answers, we're getting close to it's a problem. But I would have to have all those patients, and I would have to read every one of them to see if we can find a common denominator in what's causing her problem.
Right.
And that's where I'd love to have some tests to give me the patient to do it on.
Tell me, Jay, what is the difference between what a medical intuitive does and what a psychic does?
Well, now this is going to be my answer. You just have to see what it is. The way I feel about it is psychics, if you listen to them, they kind of almost see a video in their head. So they can solve a crime, they can find a lost child. I see the little girl, she has blonde hair. It's long blonde hair. She's walking down a dirt road, and they kind of take you through this. Intuitive, at least this one, I don't see anything like that.
Right.
There's no video, there's nobody guiding me. And the word intuitive comes from the word intuition. And so you have this intuitive ability to just see something. So I'm not taking them through a story. It's there, and I better get it written down real fast or forget it. There's no psychic feeling to it as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
I don't feel psychic. I don't make predictions. I only read energy and repeat back what I say. If that helps.
Yeah, it does. Now, have you written any books, Jay?
I have published one book, yes. It's the way I see it, and it's a book that's not really much about me. It's about the people I've read. It's a book that actually they put out on Edgar Casey after he died. I think he died in 1945 and in 1955.
Right.
They had published a book. They were afraid all of his medical readings were going to get lost. So in an alphabetical order under illness symptoms, published it. And that's what I did. And so mine's in about 5 years. And I think I'm the only medical intuitive to reveal his readings in a public. I'm not sure, but I don't know anybody else who does it.
Tell me, Jay, as what I believe I understand about Edgar Casey, he actually gave the treatments to the diseases that he would diagnose, and his hit miss ratio was about 40% hit, 60% miss. How is your batting average compared to him?
Well, you just something I didn't know. I didn't know his batting average. I'm about 89% accurate. I did know that kind of goes into a trance.
Yeah.
and that he would come up with remedies. I mean, the guy was fantastic at what he did. I do not come up with remedies. However, I kind of get a little close to it.
Right.
By some doctor might, look, I want to give these types of medicine to the patient. Which tree is best for him or her? And I'm able to tell. It's a little almost like kinesiology, where if you were to hold a bottle of C or vitamin C and you'd get strong or weak. That's how I kind of see energy, strong or weak.
All right, Jay, stand by. You and I have to take our final break for this hour. Exo Nation, I apologize for the bit of stuttering that we're encountering with this segment. We're going to have Jay back on in the very near future, so please, we don't know what the problem is. Our engineers are trying to figure out what's going on, but we're going to be doing our best to, Craig and the crew are going to do their best to try and rectify the problem over the next commercial break. 1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is The X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. My guest this hour is Jay Caliendo, and his website is www.medicalintuitive.com. Jay and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue from our studios in beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name's Rob McConnell. This is The X Zone. Don't go away.
Everybody ask me what will be. Everybody wants to know from me. They're just asking, never listen to what I say. They're just talking without joining me.
Exxon Nation, welcome back. Jay Caliendo is my very special guest. His website is www.medicalintuitive.com. That's www.medicalintuitive.com. Tell me, if somebody'd like to contact you for a consultation, Jay, what's the best way to do it?
Well, the website's a good place to go. And then from there, just click on my email, request. It says request reading. Or they can call me. I have a voicemail or a direct line. It's all on the website that you keep putting out. So
well, what's the telephone number so I can so we can get it out to the people that they can call for an appointment?
Oh, all right, sir. It's 623.
Yep.
465-0130.
That's area code 623. 465-0130, and Jay is in Mountain Time, Exo Nation. So, take that into consideration when you call, because if you call...
the number I gave you, sir, is my voicemail.
Is it?
The international number. They can call it anytime.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. What do I know? I'm not a psychic.
They won't wake me up.
Oh, darn it. I was going to call later on.
Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah, of course. Jay, what would you like to leave our listeners with tonight?
Not everyone has all the answers. Doctors, medical intuitives, psychics, mediums, acupuncturists, integrated, traditional. We all have a piece, and I feel that my piece is very important. And so, if you're just not happy, or you cannot seem to get all the answers you need to get better, don't spend any more time. Give me a call. I'll get as soon as I can and see whether my little piece of the link doesn't make your 2013 a little better.
Jay, it's always great talking to you. A final question, Jay. What does your family think about you being a medical intuitive and the great work that you're doing? You were a police officer, a sergeant. You you were out there for people. You're out there for people again.
Mm-hmm.
What do they think about the difference between the cop to the medical intuitive?
Well, I think they are supportive. Let me say that. But I think they're a little puzzled, as even some of my friends are. Because they see a softer side of me where, as the cop, you don't see that much.
Yep.
That's
Well,
probably about it.
Well, Jay, our time for tonight is over, my friend. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, Jay. Always great talking to you. Let the listeners know what your website is one more time.
It's www.medicalintuitive.com. It's easy to remember. I'm a medical intuitive, and that's the website, medicalintuitive.com. And Rob, you've always been one of my favorite hosts. I will do an interview for you anytime, sir.
All right, Jay. Jay Caliendo, X-Zone Nation, www.medicalintuitive.com, or you can call his voicemail to arrange a consultation. 623-465-0130. That's area code 623-465-0130. And his website is www.medicalintuitive.com. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone, and I will be back at 6.5 minutes past the top of the hour as we continue investigating the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology from our studios here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.